Could this be the CQB game changer in airsoft? We're going to find out in this episode of Airsoftology Reviews. So this is the G&G ARP9. In fact, when this thing dropped in SHOT Show of 2017, when it was hanging on the wall and people started posting photos and videos, it made a lot of waves across the internet. So now it's out and I've got a real production sample. We're going to run it through its paces and I'm going to let you know if this thing could be the dominating gun for indoor and close quarters play outdoor. So the first thing you're gonna notice about the ARP9 here externally is the magazine. Now, usually I start at the front, work to the back, kind of run through the formula. No, we're just jumping to the meat of this. This is a 9mm style magazine. That's hence the ARP9, the 9 part of it. So what this does is it gives you this really cool, tight kind of CQB look. It's definitely a submachine gun in the matter that in the real world, if this isn't a real gun anyway, would be running 9mm rounds. But you're gonna go, well, Jonathan, you've got this Glock looking mag, which it isn't. It's not compatible with anything else. It just works with this gun. But you're giving up a lot. Like M4s are gonna have better mag capacity. Well, don't worry, this is a 300 rounder. This little guy is 300 rounds. Wheels on the bottom, it's a high cap, got the door at the top, loads up, and actually does a fantastic job feeding, which I'll show you guys later on in the Chrono Test. But mag aside, locked back in, does have the paddle release here on the back, real easy to get to, like super fast for those mag changes like that. I love it. This is ready for those quick CQB changes and some BB hosing down in semi or full auto if your field allows. All right, now for the usual rundown, since I got the mag out of the way, we're gonna talk about what this gun. Up at the end, you've got what I would call a loudener. Is that a word? Loudener? I think it is. It is not a silencer. It is 14mm counterclockwise up under here, and this sucker has a crack to it. And this amplifies. It's actually a sound amplifier. Amplifies that sound. It is aggressive sounding. Anyone on the receiving end of this gun is going to know you are coming and coming with a vengeance, and it does strike fear in the hearts of the opponents, definitely with the sound it makes. Behind that, you've got a 5-inch M-LOK rail, which is actually some of the newer rails that G&G is coming out with. You have M-LOK sections, 2 on either side and a couple on the bottom. You do get one included M-LOK rail segment you can move around. So if you want a foregrip, you can move it down, side here for lighter laser, whatnot. On the front, that is the metal part. Now moving on to the body, we're looking at full polymer. It's kind of under their combat machine line since it says model combat machines here. Polymer body, but very good looking. Polymer rail, I'm not worried about it being polymer. Flip up sides front and rear are both metal, which is nice. They're included for adjustable windage, elevation, all that good stuff. If you're playing CQB, I'd probably throw an optic on this or just heck go without and snap shoot on this thing. I know I just rustled some jimmies with that comment. Moving on back, let's just go ahead and talk about this guy right here, the stock. I love these PDW stocks. You know, I kind of get excited every time I see one, and this one is no different. It has a couple different positions, all the way out or all the way in are your two choices, but all the way out gives you this nice, fully complete, still get the cheek down on it, not have a gap or anything. It's really good. It's actually comfortable. Even with this small little stock here in the back, it's not uncomfortable against your arm. It actually gives you a good length for a like PDW style weapon. To bring it back in, if you guys want to go more pistol style, simple, easy to do. Just clack that sucker in and now you got something close. You can still even tuck it and use it, which I like on that. Back here you do have a charging handle. It's kind of the double style, really aesthetic, just that's it, doesn't matter. But it does work to pull back to reveal the rotary style hop up, which G&G is now putting in most of their new guns, which I love. It's a far superior hop up and easy to get to. Now on this, unfortunately you can't lock it back. That's one feature it doesn't have, but with the double-sided one, you can easily pull it and grab it on either side and do the adjustments. No problem at all. Moving on down to the grip. It's a newer grip that they're doing. I love the styling on it, and it is super low profile. In fact, it feels really small. Even though it does fit a regular long type motor in there, it's a very small grip, but very, very comfortable. So if you have smaller hands and you've had trouble with a normal M4 grip, you're going to love this one. No extra notch there either, so it's easy to hold on to. And then a few more details here. The trigger guard is metal, which is actually one of the few other metal parts here on the main body of the gun, aside from the fire controls and all that, and has some aggressive like grooves on it. The trigger itself is a flat style trigger with the hook at the bottom, and it's kind of skeletonized. I like that look too, with some like I said, the grooves here, the aggressiveness gives you that positive grip. Fire controls are set up on the left-hand side only, so if it's really righty friendly, right side none, but if you're lefty, you probably know how to run that. And again, you have a fake bolt release here, which doesn't really do much of anything. Battery does go in the back. We're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna pop this stock back on out here on it, and you access it by pressing this little door, popping this off, and getting on the inside. Inside of here is the MOSFET, and it does take up a little bit of space, but you can still get in there with the MOSFET and get a 7.4 LiPo in no problem. In fact, I even have a 1000 milliamp hour buffer tube 11.1 LiPo. I was able to very carefully get in there with everything and plug in and work and still get the cap on. Under the hood, we're talking pretty much all the offering you're gonna get in kind of G&G's kind of combat machine to mid-tier, their intermediate tier offerings. So you're gonna have all the goodies, and I'm gonna tell you this, you do have the full electronic controls. It is programmable, it is through the trigger. Since it has that MOSFET back there, you can set this thing for 3-round burst or full auto. So you can actually make that change. So this is the perfect gun for 3-round burst. I'm super excited. They didn't skimp on that, especially at this price point. It's actually very affordable, and left that programmable trigger in there for you to use. I'm super happy about it. I'm definitely gonna be using this thing on 3-round burst when I get around to do a little CQB action. Taking it out to the Chrono, you're gonna see the numbers you'd expect from a CQB gun. This thing is going to be field legal pretty much anywhere, and rate of fire on that 11-1 LiPo I mentioned earlier is pretty darn good. It's gonna be ripping. In fact, you can even kind of hear that loud crack I was telling you about earlier in this Chrono Test overlay here. So all in all, I think you got perfect numbers to take this thing out to the field. Even if your field does have semi-auto only, because it has an electronic trigger in here and the MOSFET system, semi is just sweet. It's so responsive, and you're really gonna rip it out and enjoy knocking the opponents down. So if you've been looking for a CQB gun, you wanted something totally different, and oh yeah, I forgot the other good news. It's not just these 300 round high caps. Unfortunately, no mid caps, but I don't think that matters for what this gun really is. They're also releasing, at the same time of the gun, a 1700 round little mini drum mag that locks in here. That's right, 1700 rounds. Also on this one too, for those of you guys who are HPA, I am sure with that drum mag and all this stuff and all the space and everything, I see a lot of HPA builds happening around this. I see Polar Star engines getting dropped into this. I see jacks, I see F1s, I see fusion engines because it is a full version 2 mech box. I see a lot of HPA conversions happening on this gun. And the best news is the price point. It is not very expensive at all for all of this. With all the features, if you want to leave it as an AG or use it as a base for that gun, you're looking at just a bit over $200 US, which is not bad at all, especially for everything you get here and all the features. So I want to know, what do you guys think of this, the ARP9? I know it was super hot. I know people wanted to have this thing and get it in their hot little hands when it came out, and then finding out that box mag, the drum mag, and then this, even the standard high caps are 300 rounders, which is great. You're not at a disadvantage against M4 players or AK players for that matter. I want to know what you guys think. Do you like this little guy? Do you think this is going to be part of your thing? I mean, it's really lightweight. It's super easy to one hand. I mean, it's definitely a pistol when it comes down to that. Let me know in the comment section below. I'll be down there joining the discussion, talking to you guys, and listening to all your comments and thoughts on this gun. Well, anyway, until next time, go out, play some airsoft, have some fun, but no matter what you do, call your freaking hits.